Alright guys, so today I have a couple cool things to show you. The first one is I've managed to get an RX 580 passed through to a virtual machine in Hyper-V 2016. So obviously you probably know that Hyper-V is not a preferable solution for hosting VFIO style things because it doesn't allow you to mask the CPU ID in NVIDIA cards, so you get that horrible error 43 thing. But RX 580 or AMD series cards allow you to fully pass through the GPU and run it with acceleration. There are some caveats here that the driver is not amazing, and sometimes the virtual machine will crash, and the only way to get it working again is to actually reboot the host. So that's a pretty miserable experience, but at least it's done, and I haven't seen too much information about the internet about that actually being possible. So that's a cool one. And the second one is for those people who only want to run, their VFIO setup with one monitor. So, the way you'd probably do this is either plug in directly to your VM, and every time you wanted to make a configuration change on your host, you either had to use a web interface, or you had to change inputs and plug in your host display. The other one would be that you would always leave it plugged into the host display, and you would use something like a remote desktop protocol of sorts to connect to it. And in that similar vein to that idea, I actually work for a company called PASOK, and what we do is we make really, really fast streaming technology. And so I thought, what a cool way to demonstrate PASOK is to build a little VFIO setup like I have done here, and I can just show you how well it works. I would say that PASOK is best to be used with an NVIDIA card because their GPU encoders are much faster, but essentially what we do is we encode video, we send it to you, and we decode it on your host. So my host machine is running a Intel 520 Intel GPU, and my VM is running the RX 580. So let's just connect to it. The Intel GPU is more than enough to decode the video, so let's connect to it. And in a second, you should hopefully see that these two displays are mirrored. Alright, so when I move the mouse around, so you can see what's happening. So let me just go down here to portal. Let me see if that'll open. Alright, and then we got the portal open. And I've had this actually in production for quite a while with a Quadro card, and it works really well. The problem is the Quadros cost $1 million, but the good thing about Quadro is that they can virtualize the display without any need to plug in like an HDMI dongle or plug in a physical display. But with the Quadro card, with the RX 580 card, you definitely will need to go on Amazon and plug and buy one of those $20 HDMI dongles, but that's okay. You've probably spent enough on this rig anyway. What's another $20? The alternative is that you do that trick where you can kind of plug them both into one monitor. I guess that works as well. But yeah, it's a cool way to use your host as your primary display, and then just use PASOK to connect to your virtual machines and play with a GPU accelerated video stream. So it's cool. And it takes all the inputs and all the sound and all that kind of stuff, so it's nice and easy. Cheers.